Hello. Hey everyone. Hear me okay? Oh, hello. Do I sound fine, everybody? Yeah? Good morning. Hello, hello. Yeah, nice to see all the highs in chat. And yeah, you know what? Since we have limited time today, I guess we could get started real quick. So, morning everybody, and if you didn't know, our Going Art community is filled with tons of art nerds, and we art nerds have to stick together. If you are an art nerd too, be sure to check out the links in our social media in the description below, and check out our website for our class offerings, where you can get critique, guidance, and encouragement from our instructors. Because we're not just a YouTube channel, we're an art school too. If you'd like to support us so we could keep making free content, consider supporting us by becoming a member on YouTube for exclusive channel perks like emotes and sub badges, or supporting us on Patreon for as little as $2 per month, where you can get access to tons of perks like my working files, critique sessions, class recordings, and a huge discount on our classes that have a limited amount of spots, so be sure to check them out before they're gone. So yeah, that's about it, everybody. Glad that audio's okay this time around. So yeah, I guess I could talk a little bit about assignment we're doing for today. So we'll be doing a mini terrarium. So basically a mini terrarium is a sealed, transparent container in which plants are grown. So basically an aquarium, but for landscapes. So today we'll be learning how to do environmental textures, like for greenery, rocks, and water, and a little bit of composition as well, as we'll be working with like a really limited area. So we'll be making the most out of a limited space we have in our little jar. So yeah, let me get some stuff here out of the way. Yeah, hi. Doot. Doot, doot. Yeah, some behind the scenes here. Yeah, anyway, let me write down the lists of what I'm about to do. So number one is planning. And number two, it's well, actually I should be more specific than just planning. So first off, I'll decide the jar shape. And number two is deciding the layers. And then number three is finalization. Also, excuse my voice if I'm a bit, I don't know, it doesn't sound okay. Been a bit under weather recently. So yeah, anyway. Decide the jar shape. That's number one. If not, you'll get some. Okay. Yeah, I'll take your advice. I'll take some water. There we go. I had my water. It's just that my voice is a bit under the weather, so. Okay, decide jar shape. So this is where you decide, like, if you want this kind of shape. Because we'll be working with, like, a limited space. So, it's up to you to decide this one. And it doesn't have to be, like, realistic or anything. Just decide, because it's good to have our jar ready for a composition here. Yeah, set jar shape. Okay, decide layers. So, this is like the basic jar shape that I could think of, or it could be something more circular, like this one. And it's up to you to decide if you want like an open jar, or if you want a closed off one, this one. So maybe it could be like a semi, like half circle, like this one. And I should have put that in a different layer actually. Let me do that. Doop, doop. Separate that. And yeah, I'm drawing this like really small because this isn't exactly our final. We're just like trying to canvas which jars would look good. And by the way, we'll be doing a waterfall because that's what won the poll in the community tab. So I'm trying to see what kind of jars would be good for this one. Have to draw this. Yeah. Yeah, feel free to draw along. Trying to think of like different shapes. I guess there's not much you could really do unless come up with a crazy one. It's up to you. Yeah, be sure when you're deciding your jar shape, keep in mind the landscape that you're doing. So I guess I should write down the landscape I'm doing. Waterfall. Waterfall, yeah. Like this. But overall, I feel like I like the first one the best. I don't know, you can't beat the basic one. So, yeah, guess it's as simple as that. Deciding the jar shape. And let me move you out of the way now. Right here. And it doesn't have to be this big on the layer. And if you're doing this traditionally, be sure to do this on like a separate piece of paper. So do some sketching, you know. Because when we're designing, that's the part where we decide, you know, what everything will look like. So feel free to just make mistakes, erase stuff. Yeah. So yeah, here comes the fun part, I guess. Since we have our jar. Oh my gosh, my voice. Yeah, sorry about my voice, everybody. So anyway, now I'm gonna draw the jar I picked out, but this time a bit bigger. So this time around it'll be a bit bigger because this time we'll be planning the landscape that we'll be putting in our waterfall here. Or landscape, the waterfall we'll be putting in our jar. My voice is amazing. Thank you. I'm flattered. So really lightly, you could notice that I'm lightly pressing on my canvas, not very hard. Just enough for me to get an idea. And for the layers, you know, we're working with a very limited space, but this is more than enough, you know. It's like that famous saying, artists thrive with limitation. So the main important parts that we should look at here is the foreground, the what was it? The midground. That's the word. Midground. And then the background. Background deep. So first off is the foreground here. I'll label it. And then the midground. Well, actually, since this is like one perspective, the midground won't be as obvious. So the midground will be like somewhere here, midground. And then the background will be like the very back, basically. Very back, BG. To label it. So I'm gonna start off with the foreground first. So, we'll be doing a waterfall. So actually, maybe I should put the waterfall in the midground here. So cool to be here while you're making it. I know. I know, it's always nice to see like live creations, I guess. Let me erase that a little bit. So I'm working right now on the background pretty much. So I'll label it background, the very back. And I'm deciding what the waterfall should be since it's gonna be like the main focus of this one. So maybe this waterfall is a bit more layered. So split like this, and then like that. So it doesn't have to be just like a single waterfall. This is the part where we explore. Now what kind? Does it matter what you put in or how big it is? Not really. Just make it as big as we want and put whatever stuff you want in it. Yeah. It doesn't even have to be a normal biome. It could be like a fantasy biome, you know? Like a biome from the Nether from Minecraft or something. So these are like a bunch of rocks, maybe. Picturing it right now. And then maybe this part, you know, this is the foreground now I'm working on. Maybe this part is like a lake. And you know, since we're working with a jar, you know, we'll be able to see everything. Like this one. So this part will be like land right here. And then maybe this part is water, like that. Since we'll be able to see it from the side, right? So, and then, you know, since we're working with a jar, we could see what's at the bottom of the lake. So maybe we could be really creative with this part. And I don't know, maybe you could put something here like treasure chest. Something like that. Maybe this time around the treasure chest isn't behind the waterfall, like it always is, just at the bottom of it. And maybe some unique shaped rocks here. Yeah. And then we could put a little bit of greenery here, just to add some variety to our little terrarium here. So let me erase VG. Get that out of the way. Get out of here. So, and notice that I'm not just making like a basic tree, right? I'm making it in a way that's sort of like framing the waterfall. So like the branches are like going this way as a way to like frame it nicely. And I'm making the tree not so big because I don't want it to be the focus. I want the waterfall to be the focus. Like that. Maybe there's like a little bit of moss here. Maybe I could like highlight jar shape a little bit more here. Yeah. Yeah, share your art. Really nice. And maybe I'm looking at the top of the waterfall here and it looks a bit too symmetrical. Maybe I want it to be a bit more organic and more lively. Like that. So yeah, this is one idea that we could work with. Maybe I'll put like another tree here, like popping out from the rocks. Like that. Maybe a bunch of rocks here. And then I'll add like the water splash actually. Like that. Yeah, exactly. Nobody could stop you. Who's gonna tell you to stop drawing a fairy dragon? That sounds sick. Alright. So this is idea number 1, basically. And generally, it's good practice to come up with at least 2, you know? Because it's good to compare and contrast Because when you compare and contrast, that's when you could get your best possible outcome. Yeah. Then let me arrange my file a little bit here. Doot, doot, doot. Or actually, nah, I'll just leave it here. Doot. There. Yeah, this is more a designing stream. Like, I want you guys to focus more on your own design and not more like copying mine. I just want you guys to see the process of everything so that you feel comfortable with, you know, designing your own. Yeah, snow globe, for sure. Except, nothing could really grow in a snow globe, sadly. Also, I don't recommend shaking terrariums around. So, since I really like the jar design, I don't think I'll deviate too much. Use the same one. And hold on. Yeah, so right there. I'm gonna erase this part. And for the second one, I usually like to take, you know, the stuff I like from number 1 here. Hold on, let me mute for a second. Yeah, so anyway, as I was saying, this is number 1. And for number 2, I usually like to take the elements that I really liked from number 1. So for example, I really like that you could see the water in this one. So like that. Maybe I'll take that one. This. But maybe this time around, actually, what I noticed is there's no layer of soil. So maybe I'll add this one. Like that. So now there's a layer of soil. Oh yeah, and be sure to remember, we're working with a jar. So that means that when you're drawing a composition, there's like an invisible line here. Like this one. I should have mentioned this earlier. But I'm mentioning it now. It's okay. We're still planning. This is the part where we're free to do whatever we want. And I'll draw like the invisible line here just for visualization. So it's not too confusing. Because this part, you know, it shows the thickness of the jar. And it shows like the area we're able to work with, you know? So like that. And then just as an example. Also, it's up to you. It's up to you if you want it to be a sealed jar. Maybe that's a good idea, actually. Let me change that. So maybe this time around, this is an open jar. I'm looking at number 1 again and seeing what I would change or what I would add, what I'd do differently. So maybe this time the ground is a little bit more uneven. Hold on, let me drink my water. Oh my gosh, my voice. It's not the best today. I'm back. So right there, and then the layer of water. Then I really want my waterfall to be interesting because it's gonna be the main focus. So maybe this time it'll be a triple layer. Triple layered waterfall. That. So many details in yours? Yeah, that tends to happen, right? Oh my gosh. Yeah, putting in too much detail tends to happen, you know, when we're working with limited space. Gosh. Yeah, that's a really good idea, actually. Like, having stuff go down the waterfall like leaves, that's a really good idea. So let me take that into account, actually, once I draw the waterfall. So maybe on this one, this is a single stream right here, so boop. Add the water splash. And then third layer here. So maybe it's going down like this. And then add some splash here. And then maybe this one on the top is like one big like waterfall. Yeah, and notice when I'm making the waterfalls here. Let me mark it in red. I'm making it in like a symmetrical, or like in a... I'm taking the composition into account, basically. So if I were to simplify these waterfalls, it'd be a shape like this. So like that. And now like this. Now like that. So it has a really nice like shape to it, you know? Like, I'm looking at it from basic shapes so that, you know, I don't get too busy. Yeah, see? You love the second jar? Thank you. So it's good to experiment, right? Now you have something to compare, contrast, explore ideas. Highly encourage exploring ideas, always. So I'm gonna add like the splashes here. And then I think it's also good to explore your scale. So for this one, right? I think we're all familiar with how big trees are, right? So we're using the tree as a scale. So on number 1, we could see that it's semi, you know, the waterfall, it's pretty modest, you know? So like compared to this tree, you know, the tree is a little bit taller. So maybe to make it look gigantic, I'll make like the trees smaller in this one, since we have like really limited space. So now we could see that the waterfall just seems way bigger compared to like the first one. That... Oh yeah, and also the treasure chest, right? We have the treasure chest as a scale. So maybe this time I'll draw the treasure chest like way smaller, like this one. It'll be like more of an Easter egg in this one than a feature. So yeah. Yeah, this isn't a very realistic terrarium, but that's okay. I want to focus more on like composition in this one. Yeah, take your breaks from homeworks. I know it could be tiring, but when you come back, more refreshed, do better than ever. So yeah, I think this should be it for deciding. And I want to know what you guys think. What do you guys like? 1 or 2? Let me label it. Yeah, I want to do a poll actually, so be on the lookout for chat. So, hey, let me make a terrarium poll. Yeah. And let me do the options here. 1, 2. So, there we go. I put up a poll on chat, so check it out. Cast your votes. I'll do it for like a minute or so. So in the meanwhile, I'll do like a little bit of detailing here. That. Oh, and you know what? I totally forgot. So maybe there's like trees here. This one's open, so could have come up with like, I don't know, trees popping out, something like this. Another possibility. But yeah, it seems like number 1's been winning. I think it won by a landslide. I think number one's the winner. Let me end the poll there. Where is it? I guess it's time to work on our final now. Since, you know, we've decided the jar shape, we got a checklist done there, and then deciding the layers, you know, we finished our composition basically, and now we're off to finalization. So, let me move you out of the way. And I drew you on the wrong layer, of course. Erase that. Let me put it in the folder actually. Start your file. Oh, what is this? What is this? Okay. Here, there. And put you in a layer together too. There. So yeah, get him out of the way. Okay. Just talk so soft. Yeah, let me know. Like, I know I tend to talk really softly, and I don't know, maybe it doesn't pick up on my mic, which is my bad. Yeah, just let me know if I sound fine. So yeah, here we go. This is gonna be our final. So this is the one where we're gonna try our best to make it look nice. And if you're doing it traditionally, like, do this on like a separate piece of paper. And try your best to copy it. Okay. Trying to see what I should start here, or if I should do line art, because sometimes doing line art isn't always the best. So I'm trying to think if line art is the best for this one. Yeah, maybe I'll just do line art for the jar actually. And you know what? Since we're working with limited time, you don't have to do this, but I'm pulling up a symmetrical ruler to draw our little jar here. So I'll make it visible and all layers. Where is it? No. Show no layers. There. Yeah, this just makes life a bit easier, you know? So use all the tools you have so that you make your life a little bit easier. So like this. Oh. I'm gonna draw the jar here. And kind of freehand it a little bit. Draw the line. And I want my jar to be hand drawn, because I don't want it to look too artificial. I want it to look more organic and hand drawn, even though I'm using like a symmetrical ruler right here. Jar lid right there, and the jar lid up here, like that. And I'll put like little lines to imply the thickness of the jar. And I'm gonna make this like really light, because I don't want this to be too visible. So maybe just a little bit, super light, like that. You can barely see it. There. So now for the bottom of the lid, bottom of the jar. How do I make my lines so straight? So on digital, like be sure to check your settings, because there might be something called stabilization. Because look at this, wow, it's so like so perfect. So that's a digital tip. Be sure to check your pen settings and then play with stabilization, or it might be named something else actually. So yeah, like just look into your settings, it should be there. You're like, yeah, it tends to happen because we have a nice and cozy chat here. So we get to see like the messages more often compared to like, you know, bigger channels. You can see like a bajillion viewers and, you know, chat goes super fast. Yeah. So we won't be needing this ruler anymore. So get it out of the way. And now, yeah, maybe I'll do line art for this one actually. Yeah, because line art, it's really good for highlighting details. And since we're working with like a limited space here, it'd be nice to make it look nice and cozy. I don't know. Adding the line art would add such a cozy feel, I think. And yeah, so right now I'm just I don't know, I'm staring, seeing what I should start line arting. So times. Okay, so we're making good time actually. I'm gonna line art the tree. Oh, got it. So I'm just gonna give a little bit of thickness to like the tree I made earlier. Yeah, and honestly, this isn't really a tree. This isn't a tree, a specific tree, I mean. So, sorry. I didn't have anything in mind. Yeah, I didn't have a specific tree in mind for this one. So I'll keep it really simple like this one. And notice that I'm not finishing off the trees here because I don't think I don't know how I feel about line arting the leaves yet. So I'll leave that decision for later. Leave that for future Iggy. For a few minutes from now. And I guess there's another tip. Since this is a 2D space, you know, it tends to get easy to just draw it flatly like this. So drawing things that go to the front is also nice. So like, let's say this root is going forwards like that. Adds a little bit more dimension to it. Maybe I'll get rid of this actually, since it's closing into the end of the jar there. And then, right, I said there's gonna be a tree here as well. Like hanging from the rocks here. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, like starting a YouTube channel. I know it just takes time, like everything else. Like do your research, you know. That I think generally that's like a good tip for everything in life. Just see what you have to do, you know, like write down a list of what's needed to be done, you know. That's how I keep myself organized and how I keep myself active and productive. Hello. Yes, hello. And then, okay, so this is tree number 2. I'm gonna clean up the branches a little bit. There. Yeah, and like I said earlier, I want to make it look like it's popping out to the front and not just like a flat tree. So maybe I'll erase that actually. Make it a bit more curved. Like that. So like if you were looking at this from the side, it looked like this. It's like curving upwards. Maybe redo it again. I'm trying to see. Maybe make the curve more obvious, like that. There. Yeah, what Daria said, like, rushing, rushing things, it never does any good for anybody. Just take your time, you have all the time in the world. Yeah, and it sort of connects to my lesson, right? Like, I took my time, like, planning. I didn't just, like, jump right into it. And, did my terrarium. Like that. I'm trying to see, because I'm really close to the edge of the jar here. So, or maybe I should just move the waterfall, actually. I'll do that. I'll make the waterfall a bit thinner this time. So, like, move you out of the way. There. Yeah, and like I mentioned earlier, I'm making the tree branches a framing device. So you could see they're all pointing like this, and then like this. So it's pointing in a way that's like hugging the shape of the waterfall. It's a really nice, really satisfying way of framing things. So yeah, I think this should be enough for tree number 2 here. I'd like a little bit of roots, maybe. Like that, popping out of the rocks. And then I'll make like a hard line right here. Because this is where like the terrarium wall is. So like that. This is like the rocky texture. That. What does digital mean? Oh, it means that you draw on your computer instead of drawing on, what's it called? On pen and paper. Like that. And yeah, I'm adding like more lines that lead your eye. So like, let's say these rocks right here. Rocks are very like geometric, I'd say. There's less rocks that go like this, right? Rocks don't go like curves and S's like this. They're mostly like rugged and like bumpy like this one. So I'm gonna take advantage of the fact that rocks are drawn like that. So I'm gonna draw my rocks going downwards like this. Right there. And I'm gonna draw the hard line right here. Then, I don't know what I should do at the top of the waterfall, but maybe I'll leave it like an open area for now. I'll add like this rugged shape to our cliff here, cliff face. Yeah, digital isn't limited to computer. Yeah, I should have mentioned that. Yeah, it's phone, be tablet, iPad. Yeah, it's great. Yeah, to be honest, I haven't done traditional in years. Honestly, I know, I just really love digital, because as you go through your art journey, you figure out what's best for you, and I figured out what's best for me, focusing on digital, And you don't have to worry about committing for anything, because the skills like transfer over to each, right? So if you're good at traditional, there'll be stuff you're good at for digital, and vice versa, So if you're good at stuff in digital, you could transfer over traditional. Add like hard line again here. I'm gonna add like there. So this is like where the other waterfall ends. Man, I wanted to add a little bit of soil here at the bottom. Actually, I'll turn my canvas around a bit. Or actually, where is it? Right. So like, feel free to draw your, or turn your paper around, you know? Actually, you know what? I'll turn on my handy dandy. You know, I should have been doing that the whole time, actually. Oh gosh, I should have turned on my ruler earlier. Like that. And then I don't need you anymore. Get out of here. And it. Yeah, terrarium speed paint. That sounds nice. Turning up my mic a bit? Oh. How about now? Testing, hello? Does it sound okay? Maybe I should just turn up my speaking voice. I think it's just my speaking voice. I'm aired. Can hear you perfectly fine. Okay. Hello. Oh no. But yeah, how about now? Now, Daria, do I sound fine? Or too silent? Too loud? Okay. Yeah, I'm sorry. I've just been speaking silently because I had sore throat past couple days. But I'm fine. Yeah. Seem awfully quiet. Yeah, you're good. Okay. Oh, thank you. So yeah, now I'm adding this rock because like I wanted it to be like a divider from here, just to like change the flow of the waterfall. Guess I should add more bumps like that to my cliff here, like that. So add another one right here because I don't want lines to be too perfect when I'm drawing. Oh, let me erase this line actually. Boop. I draw that arrow. Let's combine it. That. So right here. And I'm keeping things like really empty like the water because I want that to be mostly like colored more than anything. What time is it? 2. Okay, And now it's good to like, it's always good to step back and see where your drawing is so far. So that's what I'm doing right now. Giving it a big ol' stare. See what else I should do. That. Oh, that's right. And then let me erase that. So this will be like the bottom of the lake or the river. Maybe a river actually. That. Yeah, so erase this a little bit. Yeah, and notice here, right? This is the bottom of the jar, and then this is the soil right here. So soil, and then the jar. A different layer. And then now I'll draw the treasure chest right here. Just as a nice Easter egg right here. And then and there. We'll like lock it here. That. There. And then adding a little detail. So I guess this is another tip I could give you. I mentioned earlier, we're working with very limited space here. So adding details is be mindful of adding your details because we don't want it to be hyper detailed that everybody would look at it. No, just add enough details for now. and then add details later, you know? So like if you look at my entire drawing right now, it's very like bare bones, right? That's why. It's because that reason. Yeah, I think I should move on to coloring now. So, trying to see. So I'm gonna add like bluish grayish rocks for our waterfall here. That. So I'm gonna add these rocks right here. Doot, doot. So I'm gonna color this in a little bit. Right there. And then draw in the other cliff right there. And then where is it? Where's the other cliff? Alright, it's this one. And color in the rock here. Yeah, so once we're adding color, it's starting to gain more form here. And also, you don't have to match my pace, by the way. Like, don't feel obligated to match my pace. I'm only going at this pace because I want to show you like the whole steps, right? So take as much time as you need. So maybe sometimes it'll take you days to like come up with an idea, you know, to come up with the best possible idea. That's totally fine. Or maybe it takes you like several hours to like color. That's also fine, you know? Do what's best for your drawing. And you don't have to match my pace, you know? And also like this is archived, so you can always just rewatch the video, right? So yeah, no need to rush it. No need to try to match my pace. Keep in mind. There. And there. I'm gonna add the bottom here. Just like that. So yeah, if you look at the colors here, you could see that, you know, our designing, it paid off, because even if we get rid of like the line art, right, we could see like a very nice, really nice silhouette going on. So that's why it's always good to plan. And then now I think I'm gonna add the details to the tree. Yeah, and like I mentioned earlier for the tree, this isn't really like any tree in particular. So if you really want like a specific tree, you know, do your research on it. Maybe explore some of your favorite trees that you like to draw. Maybe find a new one, you know, that you never knew about. You know, keep it fresh. That, and there. Then I'm gonna shade the other tree as well. Yeah, I'm picking a really nice, like, really light color. Sarah's looking at me, thank you. Right? It's so, like, cozy. That's why I really love working with limited space, you know? Because if you work with limited space, you have to put in some, like big thoughts. You gotta take into account, like, so many things, and compress it into, like, one little space, you know? And, you know, I mentioned this quote earlier, but, you know, artists thrive in limitation. Because I think everybody could relate when, whenever people would say, like, draw anything, right? You'd be like, oh, what the heck do I draw? Do I draw, like, my favorite character? Do I draw a background? Do I draw, like, props? It's so hard, you know? There's so many things to draw. But then if you get a prompt, you know? If you have, like, a limitation, you're like, oh yeah, Like, I'll tackle it in my own, like, unique way. So yeah, sometimes limitations aren't so bad. So yeah, now I'm gonna put like a little bit of grass on top here. Even maybe a little bit of soil actually. So like on the top layers of the whatchamacallit, the cliff here, I'll add like a bit of soil like that. Just like a little bit on the top. Maybe there's like a little bit of soil like that. I'll make it like really uneven. Like that. Then some nice grass like that. Of course. There it is, the cherry on top for terrariums, the moss. So like put a little bit of texture on it, you know, a little bit of grass like that. Oh, I shouldn't have drawn on the same layer actually. That's okay. And here comes my favorite part actually about my favorite part about shading rocks is giving it more of a form. Oh yeah, what terrariums won? Waterfall won by like a landslide. Everybody really wanted to see a or a waterfall, sorry. Yeah. So, as I was saying, like, giving forms to rocks, right? So let me draw like a really quick cube here. There. So like right now, right? This is just a hexagon. So it's a really dark hexagon. But then if you give it like light and shadow to give it form, you're like, oh, all of a sudden, wow, it's a cube. Like that. Because now you know like, oh, there's light coming out from the top, and then this part is like slightly darker, so like there's less light. So now it's like given form, right? Now it has like a 3D shape. So let me beep, beep. So now there we got a nice looking cube. And it's the same concept pretty much for our little cliff face here. So I'll do that. Where is it? Wait a minute, where's my pen? Oh, there it is. I moved it by accident. Okay. So now I'm gonna do the same. So like these really bright parts, they're gonna be like the top of the rocks, basically. I'm gonna add like little bits and pieces where you could see the top of the rocks here. Like that. And then I'm gonna add some shadow to it. Add doot. Like that. Yeah, and notice for this one, I'm not really doing line art, you know? Keeping it... Because line art, you know, it's just begging to have you look at it. That's what line art does. It's like, hey, look at me. So, you use line art sparingly, especially for backgrounds, you know? Yeah, backgrounds making you sleepy. Yeah, the music. Yeah. Because I want it to be nice and chill. Yeah, start for a while. It's where... Okay. But... Yeah, like... I see what you mean, because like... You see all your flaws, right? Because you worked on it from the very beginning, and you know your art very, like, intimately. And, you know, that tends to happen, but... Don't forget to look at the good stuff with your art as well, you know? Because the most important tip I could give, you should be proud of your own art. Because if nobody else is proud, then at least you're proud of your own art. And that's enough to keep you going, you know? Because if you don't love your art, then who else will? You know, you could tell. Sometimes you could just tell when people don't like their artwork when they're working on it. Yeah, exactly what Daria said. Ditto. But I also feel like they'll see the same thing I do all the time. Then try it. Don't have the image. And then meanwhile, we'll keep adding more like shades to the Roxy. Yeah, actually, I should save like the rock detail on the top here because I haven't added the leaves yet. It might get covered up by leaves, so I'll save that for later. What time is it actually? Okay. The perfect version part. See how good it is. Nothing is the perfect version. Let's see. Oh gosh. Oh. Oh. Oh, no sneeze. Oh my gosh. My nose. I was about to sneeze and it didn't happen. Oh man. Oh gosh. You hate to see it. No stuck sneeze. Yeah. But yeah, honestly, the tip I could give is it's nice to take, you know, your viewers into consideration. But like that should be like 30% of your thought process, you know? Like try not to worry too much about what people say about your art. Like it's up to your discretion, like which ones you take into account, which ones you don't. Because in the end, right? Like they didn't see what went through your artwork, you know? Or maybe you had like a different intention. Maybe they, you know, once art gets to like a different eye, you know, it gets like a different interpretation. Yeah. Keep in mind, not everybody might get the same thing you do out of your art. Yeah. That's good to hear. Proud of your arts. What time is it? Okay. Yeah, I've been like looking at the time every now and again. Making sure. Okay, where is it? Where's the line art actually? I should name my layers. So this is line art. And I'm trying to think. Okay, this is the shadow. The trees. Yeah, maybe I'll just like yeah, I'm wondering if this should be like all soil. Yeah, I'll make this all soil actually. Beep. And right there. Beep, beep. And there. Can't wait to post one of the stuff you're proud of. Yeah. That's nice. It's nice that you're able to share it, because I was really scared of sharing my artwork online back in the day. And then, maybe I should add the leaves now, actually. Yeah, so, where is it? Right there, is it the tree? Okay, I'll add. Yeah, this is why I was so apprehensive about, like, adding detail to the trees, because now it's gonna get covered up. Look at this. Yeah, this is the part where you like take full advantage of layers if you can. You know, if you're doing traditionally, it'll require a bit more thoughts than I did, but it's okay. And now, oh, and then that's the top of the jar there. So like that. right there. I'm trying to see. Looks good. Maybe I'll erase a little bit of the line art here. Erase the rocky ones. Doot, doot. Yeah, usually, you know, I would take more into account the line art, because I know like traditional can erase line art with their pen. Just try to make time, because got limited time for the stream, sadly. And, oh. Yeah, like having the art community like online, right? It has its ups and downs. So sometimes it's just good to like distance yourself from all the social media stuff, you know? Because it's not always good, unfortunately. Like even for me, I sometimes I just avoid social media because it's not very good all the time. So now I'm gonna add a layer on top here, cover it all up, cover up the trees, and this layer is like on top of the what's it called? It's on top of the line art layer as well, like that. And I can add a little bit more shading to the trees. Yeah, and notice actually, so the color of my tree, it's like closer to blue, and then for the brighter parts, it's a little bit closer to yellow in color wheel. Not just moving up brighter. Gosh, is quiet? Is it surprisingly quiet? Oh man. Is it like in a good way you mean? Or like quiet like literally? Like my volume is not very good. And shading the tree. Shading the top parts of the tree. This one. Some like really abstract shapes. Like that. And then, there. What is? And then, doot, doot, doot. Yeah, I should work on the water soon, actually. Ah, matches the zen of the terrarium. Okay, glad to hear. I don't know, that's just the general vibe I want my streams to have, you know? Very, very relaxing. Very... So that's what art is to me, you know? It's very relaxing. Boop. And there. So now I'm gonna look at the whole picture again. So yeah, that should be good. And now I'm gonna shade the trees again. The tree, I'm gonna add like a reddish to like darkish brown. Like that. Then add like basic shadows. Or maybe this whole thing should be in shadow actually, and covered up by the trees and all. Video quality. Yeah, it tends to fluctuate. It just happens. But don't worry, like, once you get the recording, when the stream is done, it's all gonna be glorious HD. Now I'm gonna add like a little shadow here as well. What time is it? Okay, making good time. There. Because I still haven't colored the waterfall yet. That's okay. I'm zooming out. Maybe I should add like a darker shadow. And then yeah, it's definitely good to know, you know, when to like avoid places, because the internet not always a nice place, right? Sometimes you gotta touch grass, you know? Internet, not too healthy. Not too healthy if you just hang out on the internet all the time. And there. I'm gonna add a little bit more shadow again here. Yeah, and since I blocked out the leaves actually, which was the biggest thing blocking everything, so now I'm free to do as much detail as I can. Actually, I'm gonna add like a little bit of feathering onto the leaves here, because I don't want it to look like perfect clouds, right? So like a little bit of like tufts, I guess. Like I use them like very sparingly. Like that. Great. Yeah, thank you. Do I like lo-fi pop? Yeah, I do. It's very nice. Very nice and relaxing. And saved me in college, because that's what I used to like listen when I was studying. Nice to keep you company instead of just like white noise. So now I'm thinking of adding like moss onto the rocks. Actually, now I'm forgetting my layers. Oh, that's good to hear. You could draw along to have a different style. Fluffy bricks, yeah. Yeah, like sometimes it's totally fine, right? To have like fluffy brick trees, because it always depends on your intention, right? Always think of what your intention is with your drawing. So like if you want like, if your intention was to draw like a super accurate, super cool tree, then yeah, maybe spend some time on like trying to accurately capture like your tree. But then if it's for something like this, right, where the focus is to have a nice composition, then maybe fluffy tree clouds are fine. You know? Maybe it's a bit too bright actually for there. So I'm adding a little bit of moss. So like, remember earlier I gave the rocks a bit of form? So now I'm adding a little bit of moss onto like the nooks and crannies of our little tree here. Maybe I should make the tree brighter actually. Like right here. Fluffy bricks. A pirate next to the treasure chest? Yeah, that sounds like a cool idea. Yeah, I'll see what I could come up with when I get to the waterfall. Because I actually haven't like painted the waterfall itself yet. That's totally fine, because we're making good time. And that'll be like simple enough, you know? Trying to see what else I could add to the trees here. Maybe I'll add like, or no, maybe, I don't know, maybe some pink. Here. A little bit of nice. That. Adding some nice like purples at the bottom here, just to make the colors a bit more interesting. And there. Yeah, I think Jesse did a video on this. It's I'm using a triadic color scheme, which means like, what is it? It's like on the other side. Or maybe complementary, actually. Complementary is more accurate than triadic, because I'm not using 3 colors. Just using like colors on the opposite sides of the color wheel here. That's why I used purple. Favorite YouTube channel? Wow, we're flattered. Thank you. You know, we do our best here. Any suggestions? And then add, yeah, these touches of purple, I'm adding them very sparingly. I don't want it to be like too much. I just want it to be enough to make things look interesting. So I think that should be interesting enough. And then add like shadow here. Ah, this is so nice. I love it. Yeah, because I'm trying to see what layer this is on. Okay, here we go. So like on the top of the rocks, maybe I'll add like a little bit of moss, like right here. Yeah, and moss also tends to grow on like corners. So like it could be like a good replacement for line art, you know, how you use your moss. So they tend to grow in like nooks and crannies, like this one. It's also a nice way to, you know, interrupt the monotony of rocks, you know. Add a little bit of green in there, make it more lively. Also, it's like the lifeblood. It's the lifeblood of, whatchamacallit, of terrariums. So now I'm just gonna add some moss here, very sparingly. That. And I think I'm gonna add the waterfall now. Finally, right? So I'm gonna add like a really nice, really bright blue. Whitish blue. Like there. Yeah, the moment you've all been waiting for, probably. That. And then there. Here. Ah, yes. The waterfall. There you go. See, it really pulled everything together when you put the... Do I watch Haikyuu? No. I haven't. I'm not very into like sports anime. I'm more like the fantasy anime guy. So, where should I go with this? Actually, since this one is a bit deeper, you know, it has like depth to it. This is the one where like I'm gonna use my shading tool here. So like the bottom would be like a bit darker, like this one. Yeah, actually I just have an idea. So like maybe at the bottom of each I'll add like a little shadow. Actually not too dark, maybe not too dark. A bit brighter like that. I'm gonna add a very saturated color at the bottom here, like this one. And then I'm gonna add at the bottom of here as well. This meant to be 2D? Yeah. There we go. It has like a nice like feel to it. And I'm gonna add there. Oh wait, no, that's my brush. That's not my airbrush. I'm gonna add like a little. And notice that the blue I use is very subtle, but it's enough to like differentiate like the tones of it. So yeah. And then I should add like the movement actually of the water now. Yeah, and like I mentioned earlier, you should think of everything as like a 3D shape when you're shading. Because not only does shadow tell you like, oh, this part is darker, this part is brighter. It also tells you like the shape. You know, that's the beauty of shading. So what the heck do you mean by that? So you know, let me do it as like a quick example here. So this is like the basic, you know, water that everybody knows, everybody loves drawing it, like that. So now I'm gonna add a bit of shadow right here, like that. So maybe this part is a bit darker. So even water has forms, you know? And then maybe this part is a bit brighter. So that's a different way of thinking of shading, you know? So always think of your forms when you're shading. Like that. There's a really quick and dirty way, but let me apply it. Let me show you how I would do it for the water here. Now I'm gonna add, you know, the water here. Like that. And notice like I'm doing like very downwards like water. Or very downward shapes, I should say, for the light. So it's like this. Give it more form. That. And also like the lines, you know, they lead your eye like downwards to show that, hey, they're moving, you know? And then yeah, I'm adding the reason why I'm adding like so many lines here is to imply that there's like lots of different like water, I guess, like different water streams. Because if it were just like one big water stream like this, like it'd be totally fine. But then I want the water to look more alive and more like varied. So like that. And like that. And then maybe at the top. The top will be like the brightest part. Like this. And then let me make it uneven right here. Add some shades to it. Or actually, no, not that. Just erase it. Like, let's see. Should look at it from afar. Then I'm gonna soften it up a little bit. I'm gonna add like a let's see if a softer one would be nicer. Yeah, maybe I'll like soften it up at the bottom here. Like that. Water jumps at the end. Ah yes, here comes the waterfall. So now that, and then there, and now I'm gonna add like the waterfall splash. I think it's one of my favorite parts, drawing a waterfall. So how would I do this? I wonder. So I'm gonna add like the foam here. I'm gonna draw like a general shape of it. Yeah. Yeah, and I forgot who mentioned it, but they mentioned like adding leaves, like going down to like the waterfall. So I'll do that. So I'm gonna add like little like splashes of water like coming out because of all the splashing. And I'm gonna add a little shadow. It's very subtle, not very noticeable. So I'm gonna add it at the bottom right here, like a more saturated blue. This one. Just to give it like more form. You know? And then there. And I wonder if I should soften it actually. I think I should soften the water here. That. I think a softer shape would go well actually, compared to like hard lines like earlier. But like save a little bit of the hard edges, I think. Because if it's all soft, it becomes really hard to focus. Some little fish? I don't know. I don't know if I would add fish because we gotta remember this is a terrarium, right? So like it's a jar. It's a tiny little jar. So like are we gonna add like microscopic fish? Like you could totally do it. But maybe I don't want that for mine. Maybe on yours it will have like tiny fish. Highly recommended. Which pencils am I using? Like you mean digitally? I'm just using like a normal round brush, you know, normal. Your basic average Joe pencils on any like art software you'd find. Nothing too special. So yeah, like softening it up was definitely like the right call, I think. Now I'm gonna add, okay, add like, oh, that's a cute idea, yeah, like artificial or clay fish, like sculptures. Yeah, I'll think about it. Okay, maybe a little bit more saturation here. Gonna add like some darker shades. I shade it here. And shade here. Yeah, and I'm adding these shadows to make it look more contrasty, you know, because if there's like a contrast, so like there's lights and darks, people tend to look there first, and I want people to look at the waterfall first, right? So that's why pretty much has like the darkest shadows out of everything. So like I zoom out again, look at the whole picture here. They make the detail look so low and have it look good. Well, the technique that I could give you is look at your picture in its entirety, like even like stare at it from like really afar like this one. Because, you know, in the end, people won't be looking at your artwork like this, because maybe when you're working on it, you're like super zoomed in, right? Hyper detailed. But always remember, zoom out, because that's what people will look at, right? So now you know like which parts to put detail in and which parts to not put detail in, you know? Helps you get a better view, you know, get a better picture. Like literally, have a view of the bigger picture, literally. So I'm gonna add a little bit more shadow. Yeah. So yeah, now it's time to do the same for here. Gonna add like lights like that. The brighter colors. Or actually, wait a minute. I should like maybe like lightly. Where is it? Lightly erase here. And then maybe you could like sort of see the cliff. Or actually, why did I do that? The cliff is the top layer, so. So I'm adding like a very light shadow here, like that. To imply that like the waterfall is slightly being split by this rock here. And then, right here, where'd I add it? Wait, it's on here. I'm gonna add that. And soften up the tip, the bottom here. And I'm gonna add a little splash actually, since the rock is dividing the waterfall there. A little splash right here. So boop boop boop. Yeah, and notice like even my little water droplets, I'm drawing them very intentionally, should be the word. Like I'm drawing them with attention, because I want them to point like right there, because that's where the water's coming from. So yeah, even the littlest details, draw them intentionally. And then, where's the water? There. And a little bit more of the hard edges again here. And then blend it. Just like that. Oh gosh, I'm looking at the time now. Maybe I'll go a little bit over time because I really like how it turned out so far. Just a little bit. I'll say a little bit longer so that you come up with like a really nice painting here. Like basic shadow. Yeah, maybe it won't be as like which is this one. I should blend this more. And then the water splashes. The last water splash. The bottom of the waterfall. Yeah, you guys did really well actually. Like at first I was really attached to the second design of the waterfall, but then I don't know, this one's really nice actually. Thanks for participating in that poll. Now I'm gonna add splashes here. And then, where is it? A little dark blue here. And I think I'm gonna add like the bright water like right here. Maybe I'll make this a bit brighter actually than usual. Cause like this is the top layer of the water. Like that. And then where's the grass? Here. Here. And a bit of grass like that. Minecraft style. You know, you got your block here. Well, actually, I don't know if that makes sense because this is water. So maybe I'll add like brown here. Copic markers. Yeah. Add the top layer. Soil right here. Should add like more like brighter moss, I think. Yeah, for the moss I'm making it a bit more subtle, like the brighter grass, because I don't want the moss to be the focus. And then, what else? Yeah, I should shade the treasure chest. So, let me do that really quick. So, I want the treasure chest to be like brown, like this one. But it has to blend with the water. So, it should be like this color, basically. Is this the waterfall? Yeah, okay. Add another layer. Or it should be under, actually. Under the line art. Or you know what? Actually, I'll just color it normally. That. And add like the gold. Yeah, sadly, I don't think I have enough time to add the pirate. Maybe for next time. Make it like slightly rusty. Got it sold like there. Slightly rusty. And then I fade a little bit. Like I lowered the opacity so that it's like blending into the water. And what else? I should add like a little bit of rocks actually on the bottom here as well. Or no, a bit darker. Darker. Yeah, because I wanted to add these like rocks. It's like that. Little rocks. Just to add a little bit of interest at the bottom of the little lake that we've had here. And what time is it? Okay. There. Yeah, maybe I'll take a little bit more than 10 minutes. Because I know we only have like an hour 30 today, but I don't know, I want to see. I want to make this as perfect as it could be, you know? Maybe like it. Yeah, my layer arrangement is non-existent right now, but that's okay. So maybe I'll add like a golden jar lid right here. These are gonna be like the minor details. So I'm gonna add a little bit of shadow. Actually, I'll keep the shading like really simple. Like that. Yeah, I think I should add like a little shine to like a little shine like this on our jar, but then I'll fade it out a little bit like that. Okay. Yeah, I'm trying to see how that would look. I don't know. Maybe a bit brighter. Yeah, I don't use this like very bright white very often. Like that. Bright. And then, what else should I add? Maybe I'll add like a line here to imply that, like, you know, it's curved. It's a curved jar. So it's not just like a flat jar, you know? Keeps things more interesting. Yeah. I think finally I'm gonna add a little thing here. I'm gonna add a little bit of shadow down here. Just like that. Yeah, and I think that should wrap up my terrarium. So yeah, woo, we made it. We made it to the end. The full process of drawing a little terrarium. And it was super fun. But before I wrap up, let me see. Let me see if I'm missing anything. Give it a big old, like, nice look at everything. You know, this is the moment where you bask. Be proud of yourself. You made it this far. Yeah. But yeah, I guess before I wrap up, you know, I want to remind everybody that we're an art studio and we offer classes, you know? So be sure to check them out if you're interested. And all the files will be available as JPEG on Discord. So let me pull it up actually. But yeah. All the JPEGs that we've done here, it'll be available on Discord. And then the working file, if you want this file that I just worked on, be sure to join our Patreon. And yeah, look forward to our next stream. And you can see our next stream on our own channel. Yeah, be sure to check it out. Lots of amazing artists other than me, like Vanessa, sorry, I combined Jesse and Vanessa, oh my gosh. But yeah, anyway, I've been Iggy, and it was really fun. Thanks for joining me today. But yeah, bye-bye. See you, everybody. Bye. Yeah, I know.